Howdy y'all, it is Cody from the Keepers of Nerd. How you doing? So I want to actually do something fun that I'm shocked I've never actually done before. One of my favorite card games ever is a game that's so simple and yet so elaborate and so fascinating and changes every time you play, known as Star Realms. We're going to actually be opening these two little packs. They're expansion packs that I just found at the store and thought that, man, I got to add some more cards to my collection. And before I opened them, I wanted to really talk to you, what is Star Realms? And in the base game, what's really cool is everybody starts in the same way. You all start in the exact same way with 10 cards, 8 of which are scouts, which this symbol is 1 money, and you purchase things with these. Very simple. And red is damage. And so Vipers, you get 2 of those as well. They're terrible, but it's extra damage that you're at least inflicting on your opponent. Your typical goal in just regular Star Realms is to defeat your opponent, and you can play with as many people as you want. It's a lot of fun. You can do free-for-all kind of thing where you can just attack whoever you want, or you only can attack the person to your left, stuff like that, but you can attack bases and other things. We'll talk about that in a moment. So everybody starts on the same playing field, but what's really interesting about this game is there will be basically a marketplace out in the main part of the game where you purchase cards. And one of the interesting things that always is available is Explorers, which are an upgraded scout ship. So it's like a better one. And it costs 2 money. So you'll start seeing this little cost up here. And this one, when you play it, so every turn you get 5 cards, you'll play those 5 cards out. And this one would give you 2 money, but if you scrap it during that turn, you also could get 2 damage. But then it's gone from your deck permanently, and this card would end up either in the discard pile, or this one may end up just back in this stack because you're supposed to have unlimited of these. And so yeah, these are just lots and lots of Explorers. They are an unaligned ship. That's actually a really important little phrase right there. They don't account for anybody faction-wise. They're just whatever. They're just people working. Man, this is from 2015, almost 10 years ago. It's crazy how old this game is, and it's just kept going. 2017 for those. Some of these are a little bit newer because I bought some expansions that had them. But what's really cool about Star Realms is as you're playing, you are customizing your deck. You're purchasing new cards. It could just be that simple Explorer, but there's actually in the base game. And what's really cool is they just came out with a new Star Trek version of this game, which is really just fun, and I'm probably going to have to end up getting it at some point. But anyway, there are 4 factions in the base game, and each of these 4 factions do things a little bit differently than each other. Simple examples. So first off, we have Machine Cult, one of the most important, actually, factions in the game if you know what you're doing. And this little guy costs 3 money. So you have to pay 3 money on that turn. You'd have to have 3 money to purchase it. But when you play it, because when you purchase a card, it goes to your discard pile, and then you have to cycle it through your deck. Really pretty cool. And it's one of those games, too, that those are the rules until something breaks those rules. You know what I'm saying? Like an ability on a card tells you to do something else. But when you play this card, you get 2 money guaranteed, and you scrap a card in your hand or discard pile, meaning permanently get rid of it, which could be your starter cards. These little scouts, right? Or the Vipers, just the junk cards. You can get rid of that stuff and clean out your deck so you have more things. Because if you play another Machine Cult card at the same turn, you also can get 2 damage. It's in addition to this stuff up here. It's not either or. It's you get this as well if you play another Machine Cult. And they do this with all of the factions. That, hey, if you play more of us during a turn, you get bigger benefits. Really cool. So the Machine Cult is known for cleaning your deck. Very, very important to have several of these cards in your deck, even if you don't want to focus on this faction, just to clean your deck out to make it very efficient. Very cool card. Okay, so our next thing we need to talk about is, let's do this one. The Star Empire. Love these guys. They're just fun. But especially in a one-on-one fight, they're amazing because their big thing is target opponent discards a card. You can control the hand size of your opponent. And in this case, this one's really interesting. If you have 1 extra Star Empire ship or base, you get 2 extra damage. So you get 4 damage up here with target opponent discards a card, 2 extra damage if you have another Star Empire card come out in the same turn, or if you have 2 extra ones that you've played. So in addition to this card, you get to draw a card. And drawing a card in the game is very, very powerful because then it gives you more options. So their big thing is target opponent discarding card. Amazing. Now, my favorite faction in the entire game, the Trade Federation, they, you know, everybody has money, so it's not necessarily that they have any economy on money, but what the interesting thing is this green symbol, we haven't talked about it yet, is healing. And so this one will heal 4 health back because you, in the beginning of the game, you start with 50, 40, 60, whatever you want to start with. Usually we just agree upon, hey, let's do one for a longer game. Sometimes we go 70, 80, just so that way we know we're going to see epic cards and bigger battles. Just kind of fun stuff. But this will heal 4 of your hit points back to keep you in the game longer if you play another Trade Federation ship in the same turn or base, right? Really cool. Great stuff here. So first off, let's talk about this card for the Blob. The Blobs are my least favorite, but they're still a lot of fun. They are known for heavy, heavy damage. So in this case, 5 damage, 2 more damage if you have another Blob, and if you scrap it, you get 3 money as well, and so you get all of this potentially in one turn, but then if you scrap it, it's gone forever from your deck. Really, really amazing. The Blobs can hit very, very hard, but the other thing they're actually known for as well, which is interesting, they kind of have a dual purpose, and even then, I don't prefer them, but the damage can just be overwhelming sometimes. Their other thing that they can do is scrap a card in the Trader Row, which is your marketplace, the place you shop for new cards. You can get rid of cards that either you don't want your opponent to have, or you just go, I can't afford that, and I need something else to come out. So they're really actually good for cleaning out the marketplace, the Trader Row. Really, really a cool faction right there, right? Just interesting thing to play around with. Not my personal favorite, but it's there. So some people really love them, and I get it because they are effective. So these are bases. These are other things that are interesting. And this is, we're just going to talk about the base game stuff, and then we're going to open these because there's a lot of extra things. You can talk about heroes and events, and they're fun, but things get a little crazy. Anyway, and you just have to get used to them. And once you're used to them, it's not a big deal. So this is called the Storage Silo. It's for the Trade Federation. It's just a 2-cost little base. It's got a silver shield, which means you don't actually have to attack this to attack the person's hit points. You can just bypass if you want, but every turn it's going to give 2 health that stays out. And bases will stay out until they're destroyed. But if you have another Trade Federation ship or base that shows up in the same turn, 2 money. 2 money. So this thing, it's just a cheap little junky base, but 2 healing and 2 money. That 2 money can add up really fast and really, really be helpful. It's very, very helpful. Is that a cutter from the base game? Let me know in the comments below, because I think that ship in the back is the Federation shuttle. Let's check. Is it the Federation shuttle? It looks awfully similar, but with red. That's really cool. Huh, fun. Hadn't really looked at that close. And lastly, let's just talk about it. Here's the black bases, which are known as outposts. And what they do with the black shield is you have to attack these to get rid of them before you can get to your opponent's health points. Ironically, I didn't even realize I did this. This is an expansion base that's Machine Cult and Trade Federation, so it would actually apply to both factions. But every turn, it just draws a card. But as you can see, it's a very expensive base. Because if it can stay out for a few turns, 1 draw card is a lot. Now, that's all we need to talk about right now, just to give you an idea of the black shield bases, the silver shield bases, all those different things. But now we get to, let's open. Let's start with the simple one, which is acquisition. My understanding of this, and it's always got a little explanation of what's actually in here. It's like $5 for this, which kind of stinks, but it'll be part of the expansions or part of my game for the rest of the time because I have a massive box that I actually transferred away from the cool box that Star Realms came in because I needed just one of them big cardboard boxes because it just took up too much space. And so it looks, I'll show you real quick. It's lame as all get out, right? It's one of these cardboard, just basic boxes. I know that's really hard to see. But let's look at this, and it says this pack features new ships and bases that cost less to acquire for each card of their faction you've played this turn. This is a new kind of mechanic that's just fun. And it contains a rule sheet and 12 cards. Let's look at the cards itself because they're listed there. But what we're really wanting to know is what do they do? what do these cards do? And I love that we're opening it like it's some sort of booster pack, and it's not. It's just a, I mean, it is, but it's not. It's not like a random thing. It's just guaranteed. They were listed on the back of the card. Okay, so we got a little rules. Tech, heroes, and multi-faction rules. Okay. All right. This is advertisements for their app, which is cool. That's cool. Okay. Yep, and there's those multi-factions we were just talking about, which is good. Good explanations there. Tech, when you acquire a tech card, that'll be our other expansion here. Put it directly into play, skipping your discard pile. You may use that card's ability once per turn during your main phase. Tech cards have no faction and stay in play across turns. They aren't discarded at end of turn, because ships get discarded every single turn. Heroes we're not going to talk about. They're just boring, frustrating things that are actually pretty useful sometimes, unfortunately. Yeah, we've already talked about that. Pay less effects. Pay 1 less to acquire this card for each Star Alliance card you have in play. These effects ignore faction symbols gained as effects, for example, from high alert heroes. See rules to the left. Okay. What? This doesn't apply to effects that reference cost directly, such as acquire ship of cost 4 or less. Okay, that's good to know. And yeah, that's basically it. Okay. Let's check out these new concepts. So this is 2 cost. There's the ability down there. Pay 1 less to acquire this card for each blob card you have in play. Warrior Pod, blob ship, 4 damage. If you have another blob that when you play it, it's 3 more damage. That's 7 damage. So you could get this down to 0 technically. Kind of crazy. So 2 Warrior Pods. They're not anything great, but that's cool. The Corsair, 3 cost. Pay 1 less for each Trade Federation card you have in play. 3 money. That alone right there is awesome. And then 4 damage, which is cool. You don't necessarily want damage on the Trade Federation, but it does help when you need it. 2 Corsairs. Okay, very cool. These are a good card. 3 money is insane. The Hellfire, 4 money. And again, -1 for each card of Star Empire you have in play. These are cool. I like these. 5 damage. Target opponent discards a card. And if you play another Star Empire in the same turn you play this card, draw a card, then discard a card. Those are nice. Those are not real great. Like, it's not just a free draw card, because you do have to get rid of something. But hey, if you got a Scouter Viper still in your hand, not bad. 2 of those Hellfires. Very cool. I like those. I really like these. These are a cool ship. Cool artwork, too. These are from 2019? Crazy. Apparently I haven't been shopping for a while. Lunar Landing Trade Federation base. That's a creepy looking base. There's some more of those ships that we were talking about, but they're red. 9 cost. That's expensive. I think that might be one of the most expensive cards I own, because the other ones are like 8, and they were really expensive. For each Trade Federation card you have in play, gain 1 health and draw a card. That's insane. And this is a 5 health. You don't have to destroy it to get to their hit points, but you're going to want to. Pay 1 less to acquire this card for each Trade Federation card you have in play. That's nuts. This is cool. I mean, you're going to reduce this really fast because you're going to be like, nah, we want that one. Operations platform, only 3 money. Same kind of thing. It's an outpost, though, so it's protecting your hit points. 1 money or 1 damage whenever you play. It's very cheap. 1 money or 1 damage. That's useful. It's the health point protection right there. That's good. Interesting. Oh, 2 of those. Okay. Swarm Colony. 6 money. When you play it, you draw a card. If you have another blob, 4 damage. That is an ugly thing, but it is cool. This has a different copyright. That's interesting. 2020. Huh. And again, has that 1 less for each. And it's not an outpost. Just 5 health. Very cool. Ooh. Going back. Tanker Mech. 5 cost. Oh, there's Mech World in the back. Awesome. Another card that's from the past. That's great. I love that they do this. Such a good game. Alright, so again, to pay 1 less. So 5 is expensive, but 4 money. Woo! Scrap card in your hand or discard pile if you have another Machine Cult, so it's going to help clean, but 4 money is insane. And if you scrap it, you could draw a card, but man, you scrap this, you're going to be hurting for money after that. Did we get a base for everybody? We did. Cool. And 2 for Machine Cult. That's interesting. The Armory. All right. So this thing is 7 cost, but again, it has that ability with a 6 power outpost, so it protects your hit points a little bit. 3 money, and target opponent discards a card. This is awesome. This is like the perfect. And there's some ships from other cards. Really cool. Beautiful. Oh man, these are great cards to add to the game. These will just be fun. Nothing too complicated about that. You just go, okay, I played 2 cards, so it's -2 on the cost. Boom, done. Not bad. Like, that's a really cool mechanic. Nothing crazy there. All right, so this one, though, is tech, and these are going to be weird, I think. I don't know if I'll like them, but I love tech anyway, and it just sounds cool. So we've got a rules sheet, 2 guidance, 2 laser processing, 2 laser, and then processing. It looks like 2 shield, stealth, 2 stellar link, tracker beam, and warp. And as much as it's like, man, I wish we just have all new cards, it is kind of nice because that means you don't have to buy multiples, but sometimes I do just because I really like Star Realms. Like, I've got, I think, 2 of the base sets of the game. And so we see some more of the base sets of the game, like the ships from the base set and bases from the base set than other things, which I don't mind because they're awesome. Like, the base set stuff is still amazing, and so it's nice, though, too, because then it makes the expansion stuff more rare. Exact same rule sheet. Very cool. We'll keep those in here. So let's talk about the... Okay, let's go back through the tech rules real fast, just to make sure we don't forget. Okay, tech. When you acquire a tech card, put it directly into play, skipping your discard pile. So you just immediately get it like a hero, because that's what heroes do, too. It's very interesting. You may use that card's ability once per turn during your main phase. You just get it once per turn, period. Tech cards have no faction and stay in play across turns. They aren't discarded at end of turn. So they're just a permanent thing, and unlike a base that could get destroyed, these are just going to stay there, as far as we know. Okay, so guidance costs you 1 when these show up. You just buy them off, and then you buy them off the trade row, and then you put them on in your area and be like, yep, this is here. Pay 1, scrap a card in the trade row. So you can just get rid of something and you're like, okay, I want to change things, or I don't want you to have that. That's cool. That's good. 2 of those. Good. 2020. These are 4 years old. Laser. 2 cost. Looks like Star Wars. It's funny. Pay 1 money, gain 1 damage. Can we do that multiple times or just 1 time? I think it's just 1. Like, what if you needed it to get through something? That's all right. Laser. I don't like these. They're kind of lame, but the tech concept is really cool. So processing, 4 money, pay 2 money to put the next card you acquire this turn directly on top of your deck. That's actually really cool. That could be really useful. That's a good one. The lasers are kind of lame. But I guess you buy it for 2. Honestly, guidance is better than that, just because you could get rid of something and get some better options. But the laser could be useful when you need it. Shield tech. Pay 1, gain 1 health. How much does it cost? 1 money. That's it? That's ridiculous. Just, man, you got extra money. You're like, yeah, sure. I'll just keep buying stuff. And I guess that could be the laser too. Stealth tech. This is cool. They're like supposed to be stealth needle on the back. I don't know. So 3 money. Pay 2 money to choose a faction. You count as having an additional card to that faction in play this turn. Oh, so you can make this become something else. That is really cool. That's a great card. Stellar Link. 3 money. Tech. Pay 2 money. Look at the top 2 cards of your deck. Put 1 into your discard pile, the other back on top of your deck. That's awesome, actually. Especially at the beginning, that could be really useful because you're like, okay, I want to get different cards and I don't want my junky cards still. I want to get other things. Okay. These are expensive, these 3 cost Stellar Links, but man, Tractor Beam, 4 money. Woo, expensive. It's a really pretty card, though. Pay 2 money. Return target base to its owner's hand. Huh. So you're not actually destroying it, you're just putting it back in hand. That's dangerous. Very dangerous. I don't know. I mean, very dangerous. I don't know if I like that one. That's fairly risky because they're just going to be able to play it next turn. Warp. Okay, 4 money. Pay 2 money. Draw a card, then discard a card. That's a great card. That's a great card. When you still have that extra money, you're like, okay, I'm going to draw a card, discard a card, sweet. Get rid of my Viper, get something better. This is cool. Okay, so out of the tech, what's the best here? Warp's amazing. Tractor Beam is meh. Stellar Link, those are pretty good. Stealth's amazing. Shield can be very, very useful. Guidance is really, really helpful. Processing, amazing. Laser, meh. Guidance, yeah. So 3 of them are kind of meh. The others are pretty good. I'd definitely say there's better. Some that are better than others in here, but yeah, these are the ones that I'm like, eh. But hey, you just got extra money and you're like, you know what? Let's just do some more damage. Could be useful. Could get another base gone or something, you know. Could help. I do like that. It's a really cool looking card. Can you imagine though if somebody had like 4 lasers and then just kept paying for money? I mean, still though, it's just, you'd have better cards. You would. You don't want to waste money on that. That one, no. And then of our other stuff, this card's amazing. That card's crazy good. Just the draw card alone makes it worth it. And the 6 money is fine because it's going to get down. This is okay. It's going to be really cheap though. So, you know, a little base that's going to protect hit points. Those are good. They really are. Doesn't seem like it, but they're way cheaper. And this thing's just nutty. Like you get this thing, just have fun. You're going to enjoy it all. Not the best, but still really pretty good. Just because of that draw card and discard a card, not just a draw card. That's all. So yeah, I do like them though. This is good just because it's got money. It doesn't have healing though, but the 4 damage could be useful. And these honestly are probably the only ones in here that I go meh. But if you're playing Blob, that's a lot of damage, I guess. It's just, I don't know. You know, it's like they just put these in here to be like, yeah, there's some Blob ships, but man, these are not good Blob ships. They don't scrap a card in the trade row. They don't draw a card. They don't have money. They're going to gum up your hand. I don't know. Not a fan of these, but the Blob base was really good. So yeah, let me know down in the comments below. Have you played Star Realms? What do you think of it? What's your favorite faction? What do you enjoy the most, like expansion-wise? You know, man, the expansions have been so much fun. These are going to be interesting. I've got so many expansions that sometimes we don't even play them. Like there's even special starter factions that you can do instead of just the base game starters, which we don't use those very often because we found they're a little bit busted, but they are cool just to have. And then you can play like fights against bosses, which is a lot of fun too. Like you can do a group work together game, and we've had a lot of fun with that too. This is a great game, and if you have not checked out Star Realms and you love deck building games, especially games that are like this where they just let you build your deck as you go in the game, because what was it, Dominion? No. There was an older card game that I used to have that, maybe it is Dominion, was like this, where you'd build your deck as you bought things and stuff, but it was just slower than this, and Star Realms was just that perfect niche and faster pace too, and let you clean your deck way better, way more effectively. Yeah, so please check out Star Realms if you haven't. It's been around for a while, but man, and they just came out this year with a Star Trek Star Realms version of the game, so you could play as the Federation, the Klingons, the Romulans, and I think it's the Dominion is the other one. Really cool, and I'm hoping they'll get more expansions for that, because I'll probably end up getting it at some point, and hopefully they'll get like the Borg, you know, even add different factions or something, and just also flesh out the factions that are in there as well, like they have with Star Realms, because it's just cool when they get license deals like this. But Star Realms has been around for a long time and done really, really well. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I've been Cody from the Keepers of Nerddom. Like, share, and subscribe. Thank you so much. Take care. Bye.